Well, the economic fallout from the US-Israel-Iran war continues. The president of the Philippines, Ferdinand Marcos Jr, has declared a state of national energy emergency in response to the Middle East conflict and what he is calling an imminent danger that is posed to the country's energy supply. Let's take you live to Manila. We can join our Asia business correspondent, Suranjana Tawari, who is there for us. What did the president say, Suranjana?
Yes, Lucy, this came in the form of an executive order which, as with the US, allows the government to take steps, to take measures legally without having to go through Congress for approval. But this has really been bubbling under the surface. The Philippines has seen numerous price hikes since the conflict started in the Middle East. And one issue is that 98% of the Philippines' oil supplies comes through the Persian Gulf. And so the country has really been suffering from everything from transportation to the price of rice, which has more than doubled as well, because of course rice has to be transported from wherever it's imported from into the cities and out to the rural areas as well. There was another rate hike just today, and that takes the price of diesel and petrol as well to more than double since the conflict started. So what does this executive order mean? Well, it gives the government powers to control the distribution of food. It also is able to control movement and so reduce the reliance on energy as much. And there's also a big question mark because there were demonstrations organized for this coming Thursday and Friday. Emergency powers generally mean that the government can stop those types of demonstrations, but we've not heard anything about that just yet.
They're obviously protesting over the hardship that all of this is causing. Has there been any commitment from the president, Suranjana, for cash or for financial assistance for ordinary people?
Yeah, there's been subsidies, there's been handouts of subsidies and long queues in order to get them. But, you know, many drivers of buses, there are these open buses that you have here in the Philippines that most people commute on. They're very colorful, and it's estimated that in Manila alone, 9 million people use those every day. But the drivers that we spoke to said those subsidies are not enough to cover the rent of those buses, and that they really need help with being able to increase prices, fares for their customers, and that's something else that the government controls. So perhaps with these measures, that could help as well. But the other issue is that, you know, those buses also transport kids to school, children all over the country, and they're not able to provide those services. And then, as I mentioned, food getting around the country is also a problem. Now, the government's implemented a number of other measures. It has already implemented a 4-day working week for office goers. It's also asked government employees to use the stairs instead of lifts. So there are these piecemeal measures, but this is really the biggest measure yet. And we understand that this is the first country in the world to declare some sort of emergency as a result of the disruption to oil supplies in the Middle East.